if somebody came to you and said, tell me how I can become a Christian, would you have any idea what to say to them? Like, where would you go first? What would you say? What would be important that you said? What would they need to know? How would you say it? Would you know the verses? Would you be scrambling, I'll get back to you? Or would you be like, even if you had a Bible, would you know what to say or where to point somebody? That's kind of the idea behind Evangelism Explosion. When I was in high school, somebody sat down with me, took me through this course, and kind of just said, here's some things that would be important to know and say. This is kind of what the information that people need to make their decision based on. Kind of gave me tools. It's kind of like trying to do a work project with all the wrong tools sometimes. If you can get the right tools, the project goes much quicker and it's much more easily accomplished. That's all that Evangelism Explosion is. We'll sit down together, we'll work through kind of a presentation of how you would know, maybe even some illustrations that you could use to help people understand better, get to know some of the verses, and by the time someone is finished over the 12-week course, they'll have in their toolbox some new tools by which they can hopefully be able to share Christ with somebody who's interested.
Hi, I'm Nathan Sharp. I'm going to be teaching a Romans class on Wednesday night. I'm excited about it. It's something I've done before. Romans to me are kind of the nuts and bolts of our faith, and it goes from that to very practical how we live that out. So I'm really excited to be teaching.
We have 4 children and son-in-laws and grandchildren and puppies, and everything is part of our family. Family is the greatest gift God has given us. Challenging, but fun.
As you all know, family can be very dysfunctional, pretty crazy. It can be pretty confusing sometimes too in this day and age. What is a family? It's changed so much over the years. But what did God say about family?
That's what we're going to discuss at the Family Project. So join us on Wednesday.
Love to have you all.
We have just celebrated 25 years of marriage, and it's only by the grace of God that we are here today with our family. 12 years ago, we were ready to throw in the towel. I was ready to walk away from my marriage because I was searching for something that Scott couldn't provide for me. It wasn't until God knocked me on my knees and brought me to a place where I could fully commit to him and my marriage that I was able to save it.
We knew we were in trouble, but we had the so-called perfect family. We didn't want to show everybody that we had troubles. But once we started giving in and saying, you know what, we need to do something, and we got into this program for saving marriages, and it saved ours. So in turn, we want to turn around and give it back to anybody else that may be going through the same troubles that we had. It can be varying in severity, but we just want to offer what we've been taught and told, and what we know to be true and what works, and just to know that, let other people know that we've been there, done that, and just be a support to anybody else who might be having troubles at this time.
Yes, and I always thought that divorce was okay, that divorce was an option, a way out of our misery. It wasn't the way God designed us to be. So Scott and I are very passionate about marriages. We are very passionate about the family staying together. And we are excited about Marriage 911 in hopes that we can share that passion with you, God's passion and God's ability for reconciliation.
It takes a lot of courage to admit that your marriage is going through trouble. Sometimes people don't want to admit, to keep up the appearance, like I said before, but it takes courage to step forward and admit that you are having troubles, and to know that there are other people that have been there, done that, and can walk alongside of you through these troubles.
Hey, high school. This year we're going to be hanging out up in the loft, just the high school. We will be looking at the book of Romans and learning from the ways of Paul and everything that he has to share in the book of Romans about living a spiritual life and growing in our faith with God. We'll have prayer time, we'll have study time, and we'll also spend some time applying what we're learning to our school life, to our relationships with God, to our relationships with our peers, and our relationships with our parents.
I'm really excited about Step 2 this year for our elementary kids. We're going to be doing Route 66. We're going to start in the Old Testament, and our goal of Route 66 is for your children to be more familiar with their Bibles. So they will learn the author, the timeline, the main events that happen in each book of the Bible. Kids will have a teaching time and an art time and time to play in the gym so they can get all of their wiggles out before they go home. So I hope to see you there, and we can't wait.
All the families of preschoolers, I'm so excited for what God has in store for us this fall in Step 2. We're going to be digging deeper into our Bibles with a series called What's in the Bible. It goes over topics such as what is salvation and why do we need a Savior anyway. We're going to enjoy different station work to enforce the lesson each night, and we're also going to take time to learn how to pray and that God is available for us to talk to at any time. So please don't miss out.
Hey, middle school, I'm here in the gym where we're going to be doing our next study for Step 2, Surviving Middle School. In this study, we're going to be doing all kinds of conversations, games, probably putting together some skits, where we're going to just take a look at the big topics that you're facing while in middle school. Grades, peer pressure, the idea of girls and boys and what we should be doing about that, where we should be going with that, and what the Bible has to say about all those different things. So join us here in the gym for some discussion, some talking, diving into the Bible and figuring out what it has to say about all these things, but also some activities that you can do that will help encourage you to live the way God calls us to live while we're in our middle school years.